So anyone that has been watching the channel for a little while knows that I absolutely love single prize decks, and one of the best single prize decks in the entire game right now is Alakazam from the new Mega set. And I think this card is super interesting because it has the Psychic Draw ability, where once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you can draw 3 cards. This is really powerful because it has the powerful hand attack, where for 1 psychic energy, we place 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for each card in your hand. This is super powerful, and the reason why it's super powerful is because we're going to be able to combo that with the Dunsparce as a draw engine, so that way as we're evolving our cards, we're just always drawing more and more. So the Dunsparce is going to let us draw 3, and then we return everything back to the deck. And then what we're also going to be able to do is abuse a combo that has been really beloved recently, which is Hilda, being able to search for an evolution Pokemon and an energy, and the energy we're going to search for is going to be our Enriching Energy. So that way when we play this card down, we actually draw 4 more cards, pretty much making it so as long as we have a Dunsparce on the bench, then we can go Hilda for 7 cards. Which is really like 6 if you think about it, because you're playing 1 from your hand, and then you're going to get the new 7, so you're really only getting like 6 cards of damage to your hand rather than like the actual 7, but you get the point. This is really powerful, and then we also get to play a card that probably has never really seen much play, and that's Bill's Transfer. This card's actually pretty good in this set, because what you get to do is you get to look at the top 8 cards of your deck, and then you can reveal any number of Pokemon you find there and put them into your hand. When you're kind of deeper into your deck and there's just a bunch of random cards in there, like extra Pokemon, this can give you a ton of extra value. We also get to play Tulip. We get to play a lot of really dumb supporters in this deck that actually end up working out, where Tulip is a great recovery card because we get to put up to any 4 of any combination of Psychic Pokemon and Energy into from our discard pile to our hand. This is really nice in case we lose some Abras or whatever later on in the game. And then we're also playing 3 Rare Candy just to make sure getting into our Alakazam is pretty easy. But more importantly than that, we also are playing the Wonderkiss Togekiss. This is super dumb because we already played the Rare Candies and we're drawing a ton of cards, so we're kind of following the Goldango mentality that we're going to be able to get into this card. And when we do, as long as our luck is even slightly in our favor, we're turning Megas into 4 prizes, and we're turning EXs into 3. So it makes the prize trade for us, especially because we're just a deck of 1 prizers, super powerful. Now, you can go and also choose to run Fez. I choose 2, which is what I know some decks are cutting it. I really like it because we don't have to play it down until it's like necessary, and then it draws us 3 cards, which in this deck, getting 3 extra cards is very important. We do also choose to run the Psyduck for the Damp. This protects us from Dragapult a little bit because they won't be able to use Dusknoir onto our bench and things like that to kind of snipe us out, which is really important and helps protect our Abras a little bit more as well because they're at 50 and 40 HP respectively. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the... Oh, and we also get to play the Lieutenant Surge Bargain. This is really fun because they either give us a prize card, which is always beneficial, or they let us draw 4 cards, which is representative of 80 damage, which is really nice and can really put us over, you know, the cusp to get certain knockouts. But yeah, that's pretty much the list, so we'll get into the games in a second. I just want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. It really does go a long way. It means a lot, so thank you guys so much for that. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and just check to see if you are subscribed, if you think you are. And then lastly, be sure to let me know what decks you want to see featured next on the channel, or any other cards you'd like to see me play from the new set, since I'm kind of just getting at them in a random order. So if there's one you want to see, be sure to let me know so I can kind of start building that next. With that being said, I love single prize decks. I'm really excited to get into the game, so I will see you guys all in game number 1 in a second. Peace. Alright, we're into the game, and we're going to be going first, which is totally fine for us. Now, obviously, this hand is not great, because we're going to have to mulligan it, but, honestly, that's okay. We get to go for an Abra. I actually like leading to Dunsparce more, just because that's something I can move out of the active. Most of our hand kind of sucks. The Super Rod, the Tulip, and the Psyduck, as well as the Fez, all don't really do anything for us right now. We do get a Kadabra, so that's at least cards to see on the next turn. We'll go 1 more Dunsparce, 1 more Abra. And then we can pass our turn. Kadabra does let us draw some cards, which is nice. Looks like we're probably up against Gardy. Yep. And so we're going to have to be a little careful. Obviously, the potential item lock could come out. Some Monkey Dory shenanigans could come out. Some Devo shenanigans. All of those kind of things. So we definitely have to be a little bit mindful, a little bit careful. But what is nice is that the one prize kind of back and forth isn't like horrible as long as we are the ones getting ahead early. It'll be a little hard for them to take multi-prize turns. So there is that for us. We see a secret box come out though. Getting rid of the Devo and Energy and a Curlia. So does look like their hand might be a little rough. We did see them Arven already, so whatever supporter they get will be for next turn. The only thing that's going to be annoying is in this matchup they play a lot of Ionos. But we also won't need that many energy to be able to, that many energy to be able to win. Or not energy, rather, cards in hand. So in order to like win and knock things out, so that's also kind of fine with us. We see Nest Ball for Monkey Dory. We do know that there's a Dark Energy in hand for them. We know that they do have TM Evo. This will probably be for a Ralts. Yep, which they'll go probably TM Evo Energy to Clefairy, go for a TM Evo play. There's a very small world, but there is a world where we end up getting Rare Candy Alakazam KO onto Clefairy, and if that can happen, that's really good for us. Now we do see the Dark Energy on to the Monkey Dory, so that actually sets us up pretty well. I'm a little surprised to see them discard the Gardy as well as the TM Evo, especially because if they could go Gardy for that, that'd be really good for them. What we'll do is we'll go Artazon here to grab ourselves another Dudunsparce, and then we'll go Kadabra, draw ourselves 2 cards, where we'll get a Dusk Ball. Dusk Ball does help because it gets us a copy of Dudunsparce. Now we'll go Runaway Draw, see what we get. We do get another one as well as a Hilda. That's actually pretty good for us. That opens up some options into, because we already do have Rare Candy. So that opens us up into getting our, okay, there's Alakazam, Rare Candy. So that opens us up into getting our energy for turn, as well as another copy of Dudunsparce, and Psychic Draw is going to let us draw a couple more copies. So that's really good. We get that down. We'll be able to go for, we could go like Boss's Orders here for something, but I don't really think it's necessary. What we're going to be able to do is go Psychic Energy and Dudunsparce. We'll be able to go Psychic Energy down, and then we'll go, we'll have Dudunsparce for the following turn, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards. So I believe we do just enough damage. Yep, 220. So we take the 2 prize KO right away, which puts us in incredible position. And there's a Kadabra as well as a Nest Ball. We know that they have Lillie's determination in hand, which is why we weren't too worried about going wide like this. They do already have Rare Candy Gardy, so that's why they weren't too worried about discarding it. And then in comes the Lillie's determination. My main thing is that I wasn't too worried because we knew that the Iono wasn't going to come, so we can actually expand our hand pretty wide. They do only have 2 energy and discard as of right now, and if they leave Gardy in the active to attack, we're in a very good position. Now, obviously, we would have really loved to get EXP share down, so that way we could go Enriching Energy on the following turn. But even if we can't, it's okay. Because of the lead we're in and the potential to take 2 prizes, we can actually go Fez on the knockout just to draw even more, which is not a bad option for us. Especially if we can KO this Gardevoir here, we'll be in a really, really good spot. They choose to retreat. They go Monkey. They could set up a Confusion play. They actually can get the knockout here, never mind. Because they can go 2 energy to this, go Adrenabrain, put that onto this, and then hit for weakness. But if that's the play they go, that actually opens up like boss's orders. Because we just bring this in, we go Night Stretcher, take 3, go to Dunsparce. Oh, why am I thinking Monkey Dory was a dark Pokemon for some reason? Alright, that kind of changes things a little bit. Because now we need an energy to retreat with, but it still opens up kind of the same line. I'm going to go ahead and grab another Dunsparce here off that. And then I'm going to Nest Ball for 1 Abra. Just to thin my deck out a little bit, because ideally I get into Alakazam energy, and then I can just go Boss's Orders onto this, which would be super ideal. I was kind of hoping it would get knocked out, honestly. That would have made things a lot easier for me. So far, nothing. That actually kind of sucks. We'll see if I can get one off the Dusk Balls, but I'm still not finding them. So we'll place this down. Go Dusk Ball. We do get the Alakazam. Now we just need a Psychic Energy. Technically, we don't need a Psychic Energy, but I'd really like one. But that's okay. We can retreat out, bring this in, Night Stretcher, get that back, attach here, and then what we can do is go for the boss's orders onto the Guardy and attach and go Powerful Hand for 300 because they already have the 10 damage. And that's why we were okay putting down the EXP share. If they didn't already have that 10 damage on them, we would not have done that. But in this case, I didn't feel, you know, I knew that we were going to have just enough. But obviously, I would not play the EXP share down under other, like, you know, under different circumstances. Obviously, our opponent's playing a little slow, but being able to hit for 300 damage on with a single prizer on our, like, second attack, essentially, is, like, so big. The thing with this deck that's pretty interesting is that it kind of forces your opponent into having to play Iono even when they don't really want to. Because, like, our opponent on the last turn decided to go Lillie's Determination rather than Iono, and that just, like, ended up helping us. This is where, if I had a Togepi to be able to go for the Wonder Kiss, I would love that. Just unfortunately, I can't in this kind of situation. They do go one more energy on to the Monkey Dory, which will be the Dark, so they can move upwards to 60 damage this turn. But there'll only be 2 Psychic Energy in the discard pile, and there's potential that we can draw ourselves into another boss's orders in an energy. So, that being said, if they can move 60 damage onto this Alakazam, they could KO it, take 2 prizes in a turn, potentially. But I'm totally fine just going double to Dunsparce. They bring in Screamtail. They may want to target the Dunsparce, but that does leave them open to just, again, another Alakazam boss play if I draw into it. Which, who knows, I might. They go Counter Catcher, pull up Abra. Not the best. Because I can just Rare Candy to this. 40, they have the potential for 80 damage. They do choose to target a Dunsparce. What I want to do is I'm going to go Artazon just to search my deck, see if I have a boss's orders available. Oh. Alright, well that answered that question. Now we just find an energy. I'll grab myself another Dunsparce. We'll go Runaway Draw. Hey, we found an energy. So now what I get to do is go Kadabra. Draw myself 2 cards. We can go Energy. Retreat. Bring this in. We're going to be annoying and Fez just to make it seem like we didn't get the boss's orders. But then I'm just going to play it. And then we're going to drop a powerful hand, and they're going to concede. So, yeah, I mean, obviously our opponent didn't get the best hands and plays off, but it's like, how easy was that just to boss up Guardy over and over? Now, obviously, you can't always prep that you're going to get the Guardies like that, like you're going to have the boss plays, but like your damage output is so insane if your opponent isn't constantly Ionoing you, and so it puts them in a position where it's like, they want to be playing Lilies, they want to be playing Research, they want to be playing these other cards, and they just like can't, because if they give you one turn to just get a bunch of stuff off, it's like it doesn't matter, you're just going to find your pieces and just start swinging, and it becomes kind of crazy. But yeah, that'll be the first game, and we'll jump into the next one in a second, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're in game number 1, and we're going to be going first. We'll see what we open. Gonna mulligan here, which is a little unfortunate, but is what it is. Can't complain too much. It would have been nice, though, just to get, like, the Alakazam, be able to Buddy Poffin off rip, go drop the Enriching. But it's okay. We get our Abra. We do have a Psyduck, not that we really need it. This hand is a lot worse. We see a Ditto. Well, let's hope we don't get Fan Rotomed. We will place this down, and we'll pass. On the next turn, we'll be able to go Kadabra. Start to draw ourselves some cards. Potentially be able to, you know, top deck like a Hilda and then, like, kind of go crazy potentially, but we'll see. We're just hoping this doesn't turn into a Fan Rotom that KOs us. That would be... that'd be worst case scenario. But we'll wait and see. They're contemplating, deck checking. Hopefully it doesn't take 3 years for them to do it. Kangaskhan. Alright, we are safe. And that's not the worst Mega to see in the active. I'm not really that worried about getting attacked this turn now. They're going to be able to use it for draw support. We still don't know exactly what they're playing. This still could be like a Charizard list. We see the Pidgeot down. And I know that some Charizard lists are running the Mega Kangaskhan as well. Just as some like additional draw. So we'll see what it is. Okay, it's some sort of control variant. They go Accompanying Flute. I'm not going to lie. If they want to put some Dunsparces on my bench, I'm definitely not going to complain. Though we do kind of have to look out because I assume they're going to play like some Xerosic or something. But we don't have to worry about getting like trapped in the active, so that's nice. We see a Secret Box come out. They get rid of a Tool Scrapper, a Pidgeot EX, and a TM Evo. I guess I could see TM Evo, but it's interesting they got rid of the Pidgeot EX unless they have another one in hand. Specifically because they already have the Pidgey down. Okay, there's the Xerosics. That's definitely scary. Accompanying Flute does get us more Dunsparces. Though, obviously, they're not going to put those down, so... But yeah, let's see. They get themselves a Handheld Fan. I don't really care that much about that. They get themselves the Xerosic. I do care about that. And they get the Artazon, which I do also care about. I could go Kadabra down. But I am going to Lilies anyway. so I'm not. And this is why, because I felt pretty confident I would just get into what I need to anyway. We're going to be able to go energy onto the Abra here, evolve into the Kadabra, draw ourselves a couple a couple cards rather, and we'll go for the Psybolt. Not that this really makes a difference, but I just want to get a little bit of damage down. Make it a little bit easier to get the KO. We have to be careful, like I said, of a Machinations coming in and kind of messing us up a little bit. Aaron running for 2. On the next turn, if we get like even slightly lucky, we should be able to KO the Mega Kangaskhan here. We see a Rare Candy and Define Spell. We could go Boss's Orders onto the Pidgeot, depending on what our top deck here is. And I wouldn't mind that. Artazon is fine with us because it is going to let us just get our Dudunsparces out. The Eldrum is annoying. That's actually really annoying. Alright, so let's go Artazon here. Get ourselves another Dunsparce. We're gonna go Bill's Transfer. Grab these. Use one of our Dunsparce. Because if I can find Rare Candy for Alakazam, retreat this out, I would be fine with that. Unfortunately, we did not. So we're gonna evolve here for 2. Where we get another Dunsparce, but not really anything else that we're looking for. So I think the play here is just to pass for now. And we're waiting for the Xerosic to come in, like we know they have it in hand. And ideally the play is that we just discard like both Alakazam, the Kadabra, the Energy. We just like really leave like Tulip and Super Rod. Because we can, like I said, we can Tulip and put most of this back. Like, get most of that back in hand. I would like to search my discard pile, but I guess I can't. They're gonna add... Oh, I assume they would add Xerosic back, but they didn't. Okay, there's our Rare Candy. So we go Tulip here. Add all of that back. We can go Alakazam. Draw ourselves some cards. We'll attach this, retreat. Bring in Alakazam. I'm gonna evolve here. Gonna evolve here. Psychic draw. I will evolve here. And I'm not going to actually attack. I'm just going to leave them so that way they get less value out of like an upcoming Xerosic or like an Iono or something like that. There's a Night Stretcher to get the energy back. If they leave this in hand or like in the active, we will just KO it. But the reality is that they're just going to go Aaron running, retreat, go into Eldrum, go Slight Shift, move the energy. And then when we attack into them, they'll have the handheld fan to just move another one. Which, like I said, minorly annoying. but not that big a deal. If we can get a large enough hand, we'll just drop boss on for the Mega Kangaskhan. Because we do 20 damage essentially per card. So right now we're at 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180. We need to get to 270, so we are about 100 away, so about 5 cards. So will be doable for sure. Especially since we do have the Dudunsparces already here. And then we can just drop a boss's orders, pull this up, go down to 2 prizes, then look for another boss onto the Pidgeot or the Latias. Probably the Latias, it'll be the easiest thing to KO. And then kind of just go from there. Very annoying control deck. If they go boss's orders into the Alakazam on the bench, that's fine. We'll just pick up an energy from our from this. If they pull up the Dunsparce and just leave it there, that's also fine. We're going to be able to roll our Dunsparces. And probably just find a new one anyway. And then just look for a boss's orders onto this is going to be the play. Alright, so there's an EXP share. I'm fine holding cards for right now. We do get a Hilda. Doesn't really make a difference right now, though. I am going to go Artazon just to pull the Dunsparce out of the deck. Runaway draw again. And then we'll go one more Dunsparce to the active. Runaway draw. Bring this in, and then let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we do have enough, I'm pretty positive, to KO this. We do want to just prep for an incoming Xerosic. So we'll do that. And take the KO. Now we could play a couple more cards, but it's fine. Hey, there's our Togepi line. Not that we could really use it this game anyway. But, like, if we get Xerosic to this point, we just prepare to be able to go for, like, a Super Rod. We can dump a pretty decent amount of cards because we'll have access to Hilda. And kind of just go from there. And if we have to, like, the primary goal here is that we just get to boss onto the, like, the Fez or the Latias. Erica's Invitation. That's actually completely fine with us. Unless they have an active bench trapper right now. Which I assume they have, like, a Knackle. Like a Knackley or something. And if they have that, then we'll definitely have to panic. But it doesn't seem like they do, so if all this turn is going to turn into is just attaching an energy to retreat out, then we're more than happy with that outcome. That's fine with us. We get a Rare Candy. So I think the play here is that what we'll do is we'll go Artazon. Pull this out. We do have a boss in deck, so now it's just about digging for it. What we'll do is we'll thin as much as we can from the deck before we go for this. So we'll grab that. Because we already have enough to take the KO. So it's just about drawing cards out of our deck to make it a little bit easier. to try to draw into our boss's orders is essentially what the goal here is. So now we Runaway Draw, and unfortunately we didn't hit it, which is like, okay, it's not that big a deal. What we'll be able to do is go Energy Attach here, retreat this out, bring the Alakazam in, place one more Dunsparce, and with the resources that we have the ability to go for an attack on the next turn. We knock that out, and what's really cool is that the handheld fan doesn't actually activate here because of the fact that we're not attacking with like damage, we're placing damage counters. And so the whole thing is that if this Pokemon, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you move the energy off the attacking Pokemon, and so you actually end up getting around that because this is placing damage counters, not doing damage, which is a kind of dumb word choicing, but it's just how the game functions. And so because of that, we're in like it's super easy. What was I gonna say? One of the other things as well that's important to note with that kind of stuff is that you also get around like legacy energy as well. We see a Lana's Aid, so we don't have to worry about a supportive return, though they could go counter catcher, then just go for the slight shift, and then move this energy off onto like a Dunsparce, and then it's hard to retreat this out and bring this in at the on the same turn. Which is annoying. It's like if we played like a scoop up or something, I would greatly appreciate it. But unfortunately, we do not. So I kind of just have to wait for a little bit. What I can do is go for a Runaway Draw play where we just move all of these off the board. Runaway Draw. And then what I can do is attach one here, retreat, bring this in, pass, and now they can keep burning counter catchers or bosses or whatever. And like they can keep switching, but like we'll have a way to recycle the energy more than they can keep like looping. So in comes Erica's Invitation. This is also fine because we can retreat this out and even Rare Candy it if we want it to, not that we actually have to. But it is annoying not to have like an active switch card. This is a very long control game. What did they pick up? PAL pad. So what we'll do is we'll go attach. It'd be pretty funny to discard like a random card and it'd be useful, but all right, we'll place this here. Then what we can do is go Super Rod, just shuffle 3 energy back, and we can honestly, because I'm in a position where I only need 1 prize card left, I can actually just go Lilies here and make it so if they want to go for like a Lana's Aid or whatever, or like if they want to go for a Xerosic style play, like that's fine. They go Boss's Orders. We could boss, but it doesn't actually get us anywhere. We'll go Aid. Just grab these. The question is there a way to actually break this cycle? Because they're just going to keep looping the boss's orders. Is the main problem. And if they... Actually... So, what we can do here, potentially, is like, they'll go boss onto Fez. And pick that up, I'm guessing. Accompanying Flute. There's nothing in my deck that I care that deeply about. We're gonna go Night Stretcher, attach an energy, we can go ahead and Runaway Draw, and I'm fine placing the Abra. Because the main play just becomes, like, going and having something with an energy in the active. They go Slight Shift. I'm totally okay with this, because if I can draw, I can just attack with the Togekiss. We'll go Bargain, they'll draw theirs, I'll draw mine. Let me attach. Because I'll draw into the Togekiss. And then, since the energy's on the Togepi, once I go Rare Candy Togekiss, I'll be pretty much fine. Yeah, I can even go Enriching Energy. Because I'm pretty positive it's only 2 energy for Togekiss to attack, right? Oh, it's 3. Okay. So, similar situation, but not exactly the same. But that's okay. Because now, with this, they kind of have to hit a basic that they can put the energy onto. And they're not going to want to put that on Abra because of the chance that I Rare Candy. So at some point, something has to come to the active. And it will either be the Togekiss that will hit for 90, or sorry, that'll hit for 140. Because you can go to Dunsparce, but I'm just going to draw more cards. And move this out of the active. You can't go Zerosic now. And if you move the energy to the Alakazam, I attack for game. If you move the energy to the Fez, I just attach one more and attack for game. And if you do nothing, I win. Like, so what is your play, friend? Chiyu. Interesting. Is your play to retreat and discard 2? Nope. Alright, cool. This has been a huge waste of everyone's time. So we go to Dunsparce. I don't even need to boss here. I'm pretty positive I can just go Hilda. But I actually don't really even need to. Yeah, I can just energy and boss. And I'm gonna KO that thing just because. Alright, cool. So we did beat the control deck. This took a lot of time. So this will probably be like the second game of the video, but I am happy that we went through this, even if it was a very long, boring game, because it did show how you have to play through this. Like, I feel like control is not very good. It's just it's waiting for you to make mistakes and misplays more than it being good. And it's like it becomes like a mental game. And if you don't tilt and you just like play the strategy, you'll be fine. But yeah, so I feel like this is a really good game to kind of highlight that, even if this took a long time and doesn't exactly show off how good the Alakazam deck is. But it does show that you can play into this if you play correctly. But yeah, alright, that's game number 1. Or well, technically, I'll probably make it game number 2, but whatever. I'll see you guys in the next one. Or technically, it would be your first one, but you'll get the point. Peace. When going into the breakdown for Alakazam, I think this deck is a ton of fun. It's pretty much just Psychic and Kelder, and it's super powerful, and probably the best one-prize deck out there right now that you can play, so I highly recommend it if you're looking for a one-prize deck that's just a lot of fun. The draw power on this deck is just absolutely insane, the things you're able to do and just, like, kind of get away with just because of how many cards you draw every turn is absolutely nuts, and I kind of never played a deck like it in this kind of way. Obviously, there's decks like... sorry about that. There are decks like Goldango that allow you to draw a bunch of cards, but I feel like nothing really does it like this. Going into power, this deck actually just hits for an insane amount. Like, as a single prizer, being able to hit for like 500 damage, like just knock out literally anything, and then also the way your damage works is really interesting because you're placing damage counters, not doing damage. It makes a world of a difference because it allows you to get past random like niche stuff like the legacy energy and things like that, which is very, very impactful. Going into consistency, this is where I'm going to give this deck a 4 out of 5. I think that I could see like a 3.5 out of 5 if I'm honest, but I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna go a little bit more towards the 4, and that's mostly just because of how many cards you're drawing. You're typically finding your answers or your outs almost always. The real thing is like getting Iono'd in the late game or things like that, but honestly, even that's not that bad just because of how many options you have, where like even just getting into your Alakazam is drawing cards, is where a kind of like a Conkeldurr variant is more, you know, you need the Dudunsparce. This is where in this deck your attackers are actively giving you more cards as well as being like an additional draw engine. As for your matchups are pretty good. Guardy's a little weird. Like, Guardy's pretty hard and Grimmsnarl's really hard, but your other matchups don't feel terrible. Your Pult is a little awkward as well. But now that you have Psyduck, it makes it a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about, like, you know, like Dusknoir's popping you and stuff like that. But it is a little hard to reestablish Abras because of the, like, 60 damage bench spread that they're going to be able to do. That's really annoying. So those matchups are a little bit tough, but honestly, for the most part, it's pretty good. You have pretty solid matchups across the board with also just the ability to pull out random ridiculous situations just due to how many cards you're drawing and how many resources you're able to like kind of work with. So for this deck, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 overall, and definitely let me know if you agree or disagree or how you've been running the deck. And yeah, that's just about it for this video. I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.